Are you ready? Are you ready?
I am ready,
All
sir.
right.
Thank you.
All right. Make sure. Okay, call the meeting to order. Order and approval of agenda. Amy, we have a 5.0, or I'm sorry, 5.2 employment of personnel.
Yeah.
And we need to move Mr. Staab. Where would you like to move him?
Well, maybe he'll be here when the high school does their activity report or their board report is what I'm talking.
Okay,
He told me today about between 6:30 and 6:45. He's currently at the Overbrook City
okay.
Council meeting,
So
presenting to them.
we'll just make him back, we'll just move him back here later.
Yeah, that's right.
And then make him stay like he makes his students stay.
Absolutely.
The whole time.
Yeah.
All right.
The whole time.
Okay, anybody else have anything?
Where'd that get moved to? Sorry, it was later, is that 8,
Um,
8:04?
I was gonna put in, yes, that'll work.
Sorry, I don't know if we need to start or not, might as well make them stick around.
Oh, brutal, put him at 8:04. That's good.
That's where it is. Okay,
That's 6:45, isn't it?
anything else? That's good.
One motion to approve is amended.
Okay, we have a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Second, all in favor? All right. That brings us to Jessica Nicholson. Is she here yet? There she is.
So last time I was here, I asked about taking kids to Ireland, and then I'm back to ask about taking them to Japan. Part of what I wanted to do was be able to plan far enough ahead that students who needed to spread their travel goals out over a longer period of time to be able to do that. So I'm looking at going to Japan with some students in the summer of 2027. The travel window that I have talked to EF Tours about would be July 8th through July 17th, so 10 days within that approximate time frame. This trip obviously has a lot of things that are exactly the same. The cost to the students is a little bit more for this trip. But everything else is still the same. They can get their elective credits and it all works just like Ireland does. So I'm just looking for some approval to maybe reach out to parents and have a couple of meetings and see how many kids would like to go, and then.
Do you need anything else from the district?
I need fundraising approval and possible transportation to and from the airport.
Did that last time too.
Yeah.
Does this include incoming freshmen at that time?
Yes.
So if they haven't quite started high school, it includes them?
Right.
Okay. What about graduating seniors?
I think what Mr. Ellis and I decided was if that is the summer that they graduate,
Yeah,
then they would still be able to go.
okay.
So when you reach out to her,
Sorry. I say 8th grade through seniors, basically.
Yeah,
right? If you're
that's what I was getting at.
8th grade through
It's really
seniors
could be
in
up to
27.
Mhm.
so you'll reach out to them now and say, hey, in summer 27, so start preparing.
That'd be the seventh
Yeah,
grade
that would
class
be the
now.
seventh grade class.
The seventh graders they reach out to, yeah. Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve.
okay, make a motion.
Second.
And
Can I make one, can I be a possible chaperone?
Alright.
Would like to go to Japan.
I am the only confirmed chaperone so far, so the second
Keep me on
position
your
will
list
go
of
open,
possibilities.
like for a raffle, we'll raffle it off to earn money for the kids.
That might change the kids that want to go.
I am a fun time.
I'm thinking of 5 minutes.
I meant more than sign up. I meant more
More
than
than
sign
sign
up.
up.
That's exactly what I meant.
I might.
No, that way I'll pair it chaperone.
Okay, so we had a motion and a second, Michelle. All in favor? Thank you.
Thanks, Jessica.
All right, Ellie Sauer. So, I see here it says you have a dance performance you're gonna do?
Let's see it.
No?
That's for Friday night.
Oh, I read that wrong.
Yeah, and moms will be performing, so I advise you to be there.
I heard about this.
I've
heard about this.
No. Are you performing? Yeah. Okay, so I'm Ellie Sowers. I'm with the Charger Yearbook, and I came to ask you all if you all wanted to buy a yearbook ad. This is your guys' yearbook ad last year. You guys bought a 1-unit ad. If you would just pass it around. I mean, a full page unit ad. If you just pass it.
A good-looking bunch of board members there.
And then here's the pricing and the ad sizes.
Full.
And then if you decide, I'll give this to you. If you just fill it out. I was a full page.
That was a full page.
Yeah.
Tell us more, Ellie. I'll make a motion to approve a full page ad for the Charger yearbook.
Now you're gonna make her sell it to us?
She's so cute. You're welcome, Ellie.
I'll second it.
Motion second, all in favor? Thank you, Ellie.
Sweet, thank you.
Can you tell us anything about the yearbook this year, like what the theme is?
No, not yet.
Okay, I thought it was secret. It's usually secret, so I was.
Trust me, it's really good this year.
Okay, all right, we're looking forward to it.
And we'll get a picture, somebody will get the picture.
We'll get you a
at
picture.
graduation.
Yeah. I liked how y'all matched last year. We should keep that again this year.
Ooh, that's pressure for graduation.
You know, that was unintentional.
Yeah.
Okay.
However, I still like the group's idea.
I know, me too. We do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You girls are gonna have to revolve around the one suit that I own. Okay, sorry. Mrs. Rice, you're up.
I have some breakdowns for you. This is, are you sick? I know, no, I just overdid it. It actually happened last night, with my dogs. I'm playing single mom this week. My husband's on a work trip and yeah, it was, I had to chase him down last night. It was a real joke at like 10 o'clock at night. It was fun. Well, our trip to Nashville is March 14th through the 18th. And as we've been reserving our charter buses and things, we are only 6 people over for 2 charter buses. So we were hoping instead of adding extra funds to reserve a 3rd charter bus of, which normally is about 56 people for 6, borrowing a school vehicle, having permission to use either a school van or the school expedition to Nashville. I have my breakdown on here. We would pay for all the gas. We just would like to borrow a vehicle for the trip. It's from March 14th and we'd return March 18th. We have 107 students attending the trip this year with 10 sponsors. 6 of our 10 sponsors are employed in some way through the district, so that's helpful with driving the vehicle. The mileage breakdown is roughly 627 miles one direction from the high school to Nashville. And then I put 60 miles of leeway in there just for transportation to all the activities and where in Nashville would a hotel be on the outskirts, you know. So the total mileage would be approximately 1,300. but that is what we're looking at, so we would just like permission to use a vehicle during that trip.
Yeah, because we've already approved the trip.
Right.
As
Is
long
the
as it's not
expedition
like no one else
available, Robbie?
Just as long as no one else is.
Yeah, it's over spring break, so it shouldn't be. an issue.
Yeah.
Won't be no issues.
As long as not all 6 adults are in the expedition and all.
That sounds way more peaceful.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that sounds.
Our thought, like I was thinking about this too, no, it wouldn't be all the
I'm
adults,
just teasing
unfortunately.
you.
That'd be fun though. There's 4 other adults that can split the two buses.
2 above?
2 and 2. It never fails, we also always have a trip of someone either on crutches or, so I was like, that might be an opportunity for an injured kid needs a little space.
Yeah.
'Cause it never fails, we always have somebody that's had a surgery or something.
None.
Nothing.
Insurance,
I'll make
everything's
a-
fine, we're not.
Yeah.
We'll take care of anything that needs taken care of.
Yeah, I'd prefer an employee, obviously.
Yeah.
Drive it.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
So we'll need permission to take the school vehicle out of state.
Yep.
With employee driving.
Sounds like a great motion, Tanner.
All right, I'll make the motion.
I'll second. You just said it all and it sounded good, so.
I put a little more words in it, Michelle does.
You did great.
All right, you second that? All right, all in favor? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Goes well.
Oh yeah,
Hopefully
We're
nobody has a
excited.
broken leg or.
Yeah.
Is the funding coming along good?
it is. Oh, our next fundraiser is next Wednesday, 4 Corners, 9 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Then 10th graders featured evening, and then 11th and 12th graders is November 12th. Thank you.
All right, Carol Fletcher. Little Steps Daycare.
Yes. Thank you for letting me address you guys tonight. My name is Carol Fleshley, and I have been a home provider for 18 years. And 5 years ago, took a step to open a center, so I've been a center owner for 5 years now. And I run Little Steps Child Care Center in Carbondale, Kansas. A year ago, I started the journey to expand Little Steps Child Care Center to 2 facilities. My intention was to keep both buildings open, but as a precaution, I had called the transportation office to make sure that the school-aged children would still be picked up and dropped off if I chose to fully move to the new location next to Casey's. At that time, I was told transportation would continue because we are a child care center and not a home daycare. After receiving this information, I moved forward with my plans, but due to the economy, the decision was made to have just 1 center instead of 2. A few days before we moved to the new location, I reached out to SFT Bus Transportation to schedule pickup and drop-offs for the buses at the new center location. At that time, I was informed there would no longer be pickup from the buses because I am a daycare and located in the city. I want to stress that I am not just a daycare. I am a child care center run in a commercial building, not a home. The child care center I run is licensed for 47 children, not a maximum of 12 children like an in-home daycare. I also reached out to the superintendent and was informed that the school does not get reimbursed for picking up kids in the city and that the children in my care could walk because we are only a block from the school. The child care center is located 2.5 blocks from the school. They will have to cross Main Street and walk through the busy business parking lot of Casey's to get back to the child care center and to go to school. The children that will be walking instead of safely dropped off by a school bus range in age from 5 to 10 years old. In speaking with the superintendent, she said that if accommodations were made for my child care center, they would have to be made if another center moved in. It is clear the safety of the children in our district is not the top consideration, but the cost should another center decide to some point in the future enter the district. The safety of our children come first, and they are not an accommodation. I have been informed there is a home daycare in the city limits of Overbrook that a preschool bus and a large school bus pick up at. I've also been told that other comments that have come from the transportation department and the superintendent is that we should purchase a 15-passenger van to transport in. By purchasing this van and the insurance that we would need would end up raising our every child's weekly rate to accommodate this extra expense. This could put our service that provides a safe place for children to spend their days and a safe before and after school program for our school-age children in jeopardy. The Child Care Center is located within 100 yards of or less of several of the buses' regular travel route to and from the middle school. It would be simple and not that far out of the way for a bus to stop on either Topeka Boulevard and pick up or drop off, or pull into the Casey's parking lot and pull over in front of the building and pick up or drop off the children, the same as the preschool bus does 4 times a day. At this time, we have 4 children that would ride the bus in the morning and 8 children ages 5 to 10 that would ride the bus in the evenings. These are the same numbers that we're getting on at our prior Child Care Center location. Next year, we will be adding another additional 6 children, all going to kindergarten, to the before and after school bus pickup and drop-offs. I have several statements from parents. One parent has stated, "I respectfully request that we change the wording on pickups to differentiate between a home daycare and a child care center so that accommodations are made to pick up children at child care centers wherever they are located in town or out of town." Another letter I have is, "To whom it may concern, I am writing to formally express my great concern regarding the recent change in the transportation arrangement for my child. With the relocation of the child care center, it's been announced the school bus will no longer pick up or drop off at the new location. Instead, my 6-year-old child is expected to walk from the school to the center approximately 2.5 blocks. This expectation presents serious safety concerns. The route is not in a clear, straight line of sight and requires my young child to cross a major street and navigate through a convenience store parking lot. At 6 years old, my child does not yet have the developmental maturity, judgment, or experience to safely manage such risks without adult supervision. I find it especially concerning that the school buses already pass directly by the child care center every day, yet a stop has not been established. Given the safety implications, I am struggling to understand why this adjustment cannot be made to ensure the well-being of the children who attend the program. As a parent, my foremost priority is the safety of my child. I respectfully urge the district/transportation department to reconsider this decision and explore solutions that prioritize student safety, whether by reinstating bus service to the child care center or providing another safe and supervised transportation option. Thank you for attention to this matter and for your continued commitment to the safety of our children." Little Steps Child Care Center has been designated a center because of the amount of people/children it serves in this community. Please consider the safety of our school-age children by providing them the safest option for transport to and from school each day. I notice on a daily basis multiple large school buses pull in and out of Casey's. As a matter of fact, this afternoon at about 2:30, a bus pulled in, stopped in front of the Casey's doors, opened the doors, children got off the bus, went inside Casey's. The bus pulled around the end of the pumps and around beside the Topeka Boulevard side, and then parked on the Main Street side in the parking lot of Casey's. And then when the children came out of Casey's, they walked over and got on the bus, and the bus pulled out the main entrance and went on about their way. I don't see an issue with the bus pulling in there. I have noticed also at 7:10 every morning, a bus comes down Topeka Boulevard and then takes going north and then takes a left down Main Street. That bus could pull in to the parking lot, pick the children up and continue on its way. It's not that much extra gas. If I have to pay for the extra gas for them to pick up, that would be cheaper than me purchasing a van and then having to pay the insurance and having to pass these costs on to my parents.
So I have a couple questions. I know you keep saying home daycare and center daycare. I will say, our home daycares are licensed as well. So therefore, if we did allow, to pick up kids from there, then that's home daycare or not. They're still licensed as well. So that's, I think, kind of is where the issue is, where we would have to allow them to do it as well. Do you not have other employees under you that could walk these kids to school, or?
I have It is a very difficult situation to get employees to work in a childcare center due to the low wages, the stress. At this time, I only have enough staff to cover the classrooms whenever they're open and the children are in the classrooms, to be able to stay within ratio in the classrooms with the teacher to student ratio.
And you don't have an extra person to leave while kids are there to then.
Correct.
To take them to school.
So I think, is it, other than just being a daycare or daycare center, it's not necessarily that, it's we don't pick up inside the city limits, correct? It's kind of how that's the line that was drawn.
Yeah, the policies in the handbook read specifically about preschool students based on our half days and our sessions. We've done that for how many years, Robbie?
Before me.
Okay, yeah, for quite some time, yeah, and then, currently, we pick up outside of city limits, because our city limits, are so close to the school, they're still within that 2.5 miles, but they're outside of city limits, so I think that was decided a long time ago as well. So when I talked to her on the phone, I just stressed to her that by policy, this is where we're at right now. You know, I know there's challenges, but these changes take policy change, that's why I said the board needs to talk about it, and then also changes operational things, depending on what policies, if the policies are changed. So operations would require different kinds of buses, there's safety precautions, and then if we were to open that up to others, what that requires for additional busing, additional additions to our fleet possibly, I don't know. So I do have the transportation director here tonight as well, in case you have any questions beyond that or
I mean, the same number of children would still be getting on the bus as was getting on at the other center. So
That's what I was about to
what's wrong with that bus just stopping, picking up and continuing on the route?
That's what I was gonna ask, so they pick up and then take the kids to Carbondale, and then the preschool kids probably get on another bus
Yes.
at Carbondale,
So
or?
the little bus still stops there because there's no differential on the preschool side. We've always done, if you're at a daycare, a licensed daycare for preschool, we'll always pick up and drop off there. It's when you get to kindergarten and older is where the issue is. So there's preschool still getting dropped off and picked up there.
Yes.
Well, no, I understand, but she said there's 4 kids that are not in preschool,
Mhm.
so there's 2 buses going to her daycare right now, or these 4
No.
kids in the morning are getting on with the preschool bus?
What she's saying is
No, we are,
there's buses that pass by.
there are
no one
buses that
stops
pass
there
Okay,
by.
I'm asking your center now, though, you have 2 different buses that pick kids up?
They pass it, they don't
They
stop.
pass by it, they do not stop.
Before that would.
They only pick up
want
one
to
school
ride
right
that
now.
bus.
Mhm.
Yes, they only pick up preschool and then they pick up one school age child that has an IEP on a little bus.
So how are these other kids getting?
The center's moved from where it was.
We
No, I know, I know,
We have
but
to use our
she said-
personal vehicles to get these children to school, and
That's
then
what I'm
3
asking.
personal
How do they get there
vehicles
now?
to go pick them up after school, to bring them back. And if we do not have, we have had to be out of ratio in order to have enough teachers to be able to go pick them up from school. I have had to have, there was 16 children in the infant room so that my preschool teacher could go with me to help pick up children for the 10 minutes to go pick them up. And that is not an ideal situation. I cannot hire somebody to come in just for the 10 minutes. Nobody would work to do that.
Okay, I see that's what I wasn't sure if they already rode the bus, so you're already transporting them now
Yes.
yourself.
We have to because they're in, I'm just asking for the bus that used to pick them up at the other center. Why can't that bus continue? Pull into the Casey's parking lot, pick them up, and then continue on their route.
Be shorter distance than what they were picking them up before.
Can I ask Robbie a question?
Sure. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So if we did pick up the additional children that are not getting picked up now, would it require an extra route, an extra bus?
If we're doing just that center,
Mhm.
no. But if you open it up to everyone else, like we talked about at the last board meeting, you guys have bigger buses than when you guys previously picked up at all daycares. And those buses won't fit down those roads, we would have to open up the possibility of having to get more
If we-
small buses
If
to
we
do
move
just
the line,
daycare.
if we move the line into the city limits, we'll have to pick up at every house that wants us to pick up also, correct?
My other question, I mean, but they're not all centered, I
Well,
mean,
yeah, I
they're
was saying
all-
not
But why
necessarily,
can't
not
there
for
be a
this daycare.
But
differentiation
that was
made
my question, is
between,
there any differentiation, like when the, like licensing KDHE between centers and home daycare, licensed home daycares?
yes, licensed home daycares can have a maximum of 12 children. They can have up to 4 infants. Then they can have 3 toddlers and 3 school-age kids.
What did you say your numbers were right now?
Right now, I am licensed for 47.
How many do you have though currently?
Currently, at this time, I have 24.
24 total kids, how many are school aged?
See, I have 35 that are enrolled. At this point in time, I have
12
12 that are school
school
aged.
aged, okay, that's PK through
That's pre.
10 years old-ish.
Yes.
But you can have up to 47.
Total
Total.
children, yes.
That would require another bus, Robbie? If she ends
The
up.
maximum school age children I will take is 12 total. That is 12 school age children is the maximum I will take. I won't, because that is what that room is licensed for, is
Okay, so 12 will always be your number.
Yes,
then?
12 will always be my number.
Because the preschoolers are going to automatically impact them.
Yes, preschoolers are automatically covered.
Where do we pick up the kids now? We pick them up on West Hill, don't we? On the other side of
Park.
railroad tracks, is that right?
Yes. There are only 2 bus stops in Carbondale, West Hill and the school. So everybody, even on the south side of Main Street, all those kids, all the way over, still have to walk all the way to the Carbondale school.
Do we pick up the kids at the apartments?
They all have IEPs. I only pick IEPs up at the apartments.
Like I've never thought about the difference between like a licensed home daycare and a childcare center, because I feel like there are.
It's like numbers
It's
in a commercial
numbers,
facility
yeah.
versus a home.
Right,
So I'm sure there's some compliance differences, yeah.
Yes, there are.
And none of that's my issue. I don't have any personal issues with it. I obviously, I do care about safety. I do. I'm not expecting to go buy a 15-passenger bus. I just know that I feel like if we open this up, that needs to be a consideration for the board on opening that up for one, or opening that up for many. Because it's not just Carbondale, it's Scranton and Overbrook and any other daycare center that comes about in that time. That's and are we busing in town now? Because that's what that would do. That would open up that now we're busing in town. So I think those are the things you guys need to consider when you're making a decision about the policy changes, how that then affects all patrons, as well as operations that probably will need to consider for routes and buses, so.
Do we have any idea how many licensed daycares? I think she's
10 to
more than
12-ish.
Didn't, but we like out in the city limits.
Yeah, of all 3 of our towns, yeah. I mean,
So
if I just
within
think
the
about my
cities?
preschool, where all my preschoolers go in towns, yeah, there's quite a few.
But those are licensed home daycares, not
Yes,
centers.
yes. I don't know if there's any other centers.
I don't think so.
Not that I'm
But the hard part is those licensed daycares have had to figure out a way to get the kids
Yeah,
to
they
the
have,
town,
yeah.
You know, and so this
Yeah.
isn't.
And I gave her an example of that in Overbrook, how,
Mhm.
you know, she comes up the road,
Mhm.
grabs the
I was gonna
kids,
say,
brings them
maybe
back,
not
or
a
we have
couple of
another
them
lady
in
that
Overbrook.
drives a van in, she brings a van, she takes them, so, yeah, they do that, and they've made those accommodations, and they've worked it out, and it's kind of what they've done, so.
But they can only have a max of 12 kids also, and we, right? 12
Yes.
is that
Mhm.
school age? Right.
So who picks up, so you said you do have one IEP kid that gets picked up on a bus. Is that a different bus than the preschool bus?
Yes.
Yeah,
So we have a big bus going there anyway.
No, it's a little bus.
Or a little, okay, we have a bus going there. Is there
there's not.
room on that bus?
No, you're almost needing 2 IEP buses.
So is there any way that they could all go on a big bus? If we decided to make a stop there, the IEP pickup and the,
I'd rather not talk
Yeah,
about
no, that's
student
fine, I'm
needs.
just trying
Yeah.
to, no, I'm just trying to decide,
He
could there be one
has
person
had
we have to
issues
do?
with riding on the big bus,
Okay,
which
okay,
is why the
that's all.
decision was made.
Why can't they make another stop? There used to be a stop at the liquor store where they picked up kids. And they did away with that. Why can't they just make a stop like right there at the daycare where they pick up the kids? It'd be a lot easier for the kids on this side of town to walk there as to walk clear to school, you know, the bus, going to the school.
I mean, the previous transportation director made that, and I think the factor was that they're just crossing Main Street where that crosswalk is, and we
Well,
usually
the
have a
train
traffic
track-
guard.
train tracks
And the
are
train
so
tracks
much
was a safety
easier.
issue,
Yeah.
because there's also 4 houses that would be east of,
Years ago,
Speaking of
we
Boulevard,
didn't
right?
pick up any kids in town. They
yeah,
all had to walk to the school, and
yeah,
we
so,
started doing that as a
yeah.
courtesy when the shuttle.
But I know there's kids at the apartment that their parents are having to take them clear to school.
Mhm.
Because they're not on IEPs and not picked up.
It's not far.
I mean,
I don't want to cross the highway there.
Yeah,
That's the only
definitely don't
difference.
wanna cross
The
the
distance
highway.
isn't the problem, it's the
Yeah.
highway to me.
Yeah,
I feel like for me, the issue is the number of kids, 12, I mean, well, for a home day, licensed home daycare compared to a center.
But she's only
But
got
she's
12
only has
school age
12,
though.
Right.
So-
Okay, I see what you're saying. I see
Yeah,
what
so
you're
it's
saying.
almost.
It's about, it's the same, so I think you'd like to say it's almost the same.
And that 12 isn't the regulation restriction, that's a restriction that you have right now, right? You only take 12, but if they can take 47, you could have 2 or 3 classrooms with
Yes, I can
kids,
have
so.
2 or 3 classrooms. The problem is my preschool program is growing by leaps and bounds. And so that is also going to, I mean, next year, we would outgrow a 15-passenger van with the 6 children.
that's
That are
perfect,
going
okay, so
to-
you'll have 18 next year.
Yes,
In preschool or in K through?
K
It's
through.
not 12 kids, it's 12 years old, is that what you
No,
meant,
it's
not.
right?
She said right now it's only 12.
Right now, my school age classroom is only licensed for 12 children due to the size of the classroom.
Okay,
But I can also, next year, I have to figure out how I'm going to deal with 18 children that are going to school, because that room is only licensed for 12, so 6 children are gonna have to move into the preschool classroom. So then that's going to limit the number of preschool children that I can also take into my program. Because I cannot have over the amount of children in a classroom. I mean, the state is licensing this room for 12, fire marshal said I could have 18 children in this classroom. Classroom is smaller than this room.
Do you have preschool age students that don't attend our preschool?
No.
No, okay.
Well, yes, they are not old enough to go to the preschool yet,
So they're not 3 or 4?
correct. They're 2.5.
I guess
Next
my
year, they will
question
move to preschool.
for the board is, do you wanna change the policy? We just did this a few months ago, and if you do you wanna change it for just the one place, for all of them?
I
Robbie's
feel,
gonna have to do some looking into what all this is gonna take for him,
I
no
feel
matter what it
like
is.
you should
and
differentiate between a center
that's
and
what
a
I'm getting at.
home.
So do you guys wanna do this for the one place or for all of them, or not at all? I guess that's the question that we're at right now. Does that make any sense?
no, it makes total sense. I mean, obviously, some of
I
the.
understand what you're saying about the center to the, all that.
Yeah.
I understand that.
I just hate if we do it for her and don't allow the other people to do it, however, I mean, I get the center and the.
Yeah, but if I live right
understand
across
it's
the
the center
street,
versus a.
if I see the bus picking up right there and I live literally the house across the street, I'm gonna be in here next month saying, you're stopping there picking up those kids.
Right. That's what
Will
my
you pick
fear
up
is.
mine?
Right,
And now, when I'm behind them, I'm not, I can just see the snowball that would happen.
Yeah,
And if I had a daycare, it would be a problem. I kind of feel like, unfortunately, we have to draw a line somewhere.
yeah,
But if
And
you,
that's just where we've drawn the line and we've approved the policy and we've started off, I don't know that it's the right time to change it, but I'm one person, so I'm just trying to get everybody's feelings on that.
I mean, I think if you differentiate that it's a center, it's in a commercial building compared to a home daycare that is in their home. If you make that differentiation between it's a commercial building versus a home.
They can only have 4 school-age kids. We can have 12.
I know, but they also usually are by themselves, you know, they don't always have an extra helper, so then they have to figure out a way to get those 4
Take all
kids.
12 kids.
It's either that or they don't take. I will tell you that 5 years ago, when I started this process, I reached out to the principal at Carbondale School and said, hey, I'm doing this. I want to start a before and after school program for children, for the school age children, so that every child has a safe place to go. And when I said it needs to be licensed, so I can also use the space for the days that there is no school, I got ghosted. And I know that the principal I was talking to is no longer here. I am open to opening a school age program with the school, working with the school to open one so that parents would drop off at the school. The children would already be there. The children have a safe space to go. The children don't have to walk 5 blocks home in, negative temperatures. But for now, I have to worry about getting these children to school and not putting my business in jeopardy or having to raise rates to hire a second person to another person to drive a van and then have to buy a van and pay for the insurance until things can get figured out.
I feel like someone's gonna have to pay for it, either, parents or the schools, taxpayer, someone's gotta pay for it.
Well, but that's why I'm suggesting the bus that used to pick up at the other center, why not continue to use that same bus?
Robbie, is that the bus that goes by there then currently?
I can get the same bus to go by there, but it would be a different one if I put it. If it's on that road, it's a different bus.
Yeah, and is there room on that bus that would make the most sense?
There can be, is the best way to put that route. It's probably the shortest route I have, but on Topeka Avenue there's probably 37 kids that get on, just on Topeka Avenue. And if we're adding, I think up to 12 kids on there, you're gonna be at max capacity.
When did we change, from picking up at licensed daycares to only doing preschool and IEP? Do you know when?
It was
when
either the year before, 2 years before me.
Yeah, I think it was.
Do we know why we did that?
Is that when we took over transportation versus
We took
when
over
Mercer had it?
transportation at that time, and I think it was
Just for money.
It was, and I
Save money
think it
on
was.
those.
No, we just did it for a year.
He did not pick up at licensed
I was
daycare.
gonna say, I don't think I've ever been up into
I
town.
thought it was 5 years ago, no, they did not pick up.
Peyton went to CCDC and she got picked up. That was before this preschool existed.
Where's
She
that at?
got picked up, her daycare center right now, right where she's at.
The
Not
old
McKenzie's, but the
The old one that was.
Yeah, but
up
that
there.
was outside of city limits.
That's why that,
Oh, I
that's why,
thought we weren't picking up the
no,
kids
we
there.
are, that's why I said it's moved, I didn't think that you realized that it's
Yeah.
Oh,
already
you
moved.
have already moved.
Yes, I have already moved.
That's what I was trying to tell you.
Oh, now I see what you're saying.
Yes,
I
But
was
they
gonna
moved.
say, what?
Thinking that they were gonna be able to get them picked up.
Because I was
That's what
told-
they were told.
a year ago, that because I was a center, wherever I was at.
know who told you
So when I talked with her on the phone, like I told her, she didn't talk to me, I don't know who she talked to.
You said Tim somebody.
And if it was Tim, that's
Tim has been
3.5
employed
years
with us
ago
for a couple of years.
that we were last talked to.
I'm not for sure who it was I talked to, but I called in and spoke with someone. And that's my fault for not writing down the name of who I talked to.
I think we'd be opening it up, I just don't feel like it's fair to open it up to one and not to all. That's my 2 cents on it. So, and then I think that would create, that's something that would create a lot more for the district to have to take on. And busing and already tough, we're trying to change busing the way it is as it is, and trying to decrease fleets, and if we do this, then I think we probably have to add to it. And I understand the difference, and we're saying center and daycare and home, but I don't feel right as a parent and a community member, and I know I'm sitting here up here on the board, but I wouldn't feel right about making that change without offering it to other licensed daycare, even if they are at an
Well,
in-home.
what about using your 15-passenger vans?
We don't have 15 passenger.
We don't have one. I know they say can't hear on here, but I kind of feel like when we have our buses on a lease schedule to change the fleet sizes and all that, Robbie's been planning out for years ahead
To
as
get
that
rid of
works.
3
I feel like
buses and,
for something that we just approved, 2 months ago, this is not the right time to, it's might be too big of a headache. Kind of
I
my
wonder if
opinion,
we opened it up, how many licensed in-home daycares would
How many are there?
be interested?
I'm sure they would all be interested.
I'm sure
I
they
mean,
would too.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Unless they're
Yeah.
right next to the school, I'm sure they would be interested. But I don't know.
If we do open it up to that, and we do need to get more buses for that situation, we won't get buses for a year from the time we order them either. So even if we do approve it now, I don't know how we would accommodate it now. It would have to be planned for, so like we could get those smaller buses.
So you don't even have the ability to do it if we decided to right now.
If you open it up to everyone.
You'd have to have the drivers and everything.
When did you officially
Can
move to
we-
the new place? Did you start the school year at your old place?
Yes, we did.
So in my mind, and I know this, I mean, I feel like, yes, if we were already picking the kids up, she's a center. Yes, she moved. I mean, that was, her choice. I understand that, but I almost feel like I'm with you there. Like, we were already picking those kids up. I mean, if we just do that the rest of this year, you're not gonna get the other kids till next year, then maybe discuss it again next year. And figure something out. I'm thinking, we're already picking the kids up anyways. It's not.
I thought you was picking the kids up at the old place at the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. We were already picking them up.
For the last week and a
mile
half,
away?
they're been going to get them from the school
Yes.
themselves. We haven't been.
I see.
Yeah, but at the old place, we were picking them up and taking them.
And I also feel like it would be really frustrating if you saw them going by every day and they just don't stop. I mean, but I
But
also.
that happens a lot for in-town kids.
Oh, I know.
They drive
Oh, well, yeah.
buses
To the
Yeah.
bus stop,
Yep.
it drives right at people's house.
So
No,
no,
but I feel like
not just stop and pick them up, but I
That's
get
where we
it, I
have to do a
understand.
difference
Oh, yeah, it's a
between
lot
home
to-
and any kind of
I mean,
licensed
just anybody
daycare or
selling
something.
them, like, you send your kids 4 blocks to get to the bus stop and the bus went right by your house to get to the.
And it's the partnership we ask for parents, is to help get your kids to school, and because it is that way, that's why there's that 2.5 mile rule, that's why reimbursement works the way it does, otherwise you are picking up all kids in the district, I mean, that's what you do, and everybody would take advantage of that, and I get that, and it's, think of big cities, they don't run buses through city streets.
Yeah, but they'll pick them up going across
So-
29th Street when they're right across the street from the school.
So,
Topeka.
Is there, so we have one pickup spot that's not at the school in Carbondale, is that true?
Yeah, at the park, because it's the other side of the railroad tracks is why they picked up there.
Is that something that can be revisited without a?
location of the,
Because there used to be one down by the liquor store, I remember, I remember
There
taking
used
them
to
down
be
there.
there used to be 3
My question would
pickups.
be is what's the difference in block? You're still 2 blocks away, right?
2.5 blocks. The parents' concern is that walking through the Casey's parking lot, walking across Main Street, I understand children do that too. But they also brought them to the center with the understanding that they were being picked up by the bus,
how early do those kids get there?
6:30 in the morning.
6:30?
The alley is the
Parents
parking
get to
lot.
school.
Correct.
It's the old Buc-ee's, it's right there, the dog company is right there.
I have another
The Casey's
question.
parking lot.
Is there any way you could do any kind of,
Yes, you could go down the alley.
like fee for them to
From
be
Barnum
here?
to the
I mean,
crosswalk?
Probably, but are we doing that fee?
I know.
I mean, I don't know, I'm just trying to,
Yeah,
like,
I mean-
how can we make it?
Just add another bus stop there.
That's what I think, is that we can kind of bypass some of opening
I'm not a
up.
fan of putting a bus stop to Casey's, I think.
No, I'm not
It's
saying
not at
Casey's.
Casey's
I think we're trying to
necessarily.
pick how Robbie's doing his job and making his spots as a board right now, and maybe if we wanna change it, if we wanna change it to pick him up, we should let Robbie do his job and figure out how he's gonna do it.
If you were gonna add a third one, I would do it at the church on the other side of the Topeka Avenue so that people aren't having to cross the highway.
Across the highway.
That's, yeah, that would make the most sense.
You mean that white church there behind Casey's?
Then you'd have
No, it'd
No.
be east of Topeka Boulevard.
on the highway, by the 4 lane.
South, it's across the liquor store,
What
across
church
that
is
field.
that? Oh, yeah, I know
Yeah,
what you're
it's
talking
way
about.
behind.
Okay.
Okay, I was like, what church?
I was
I
trying
got you.
to figure out where that was.
Is there any way we could do, like, even with in-home daycares or licensed daycares, if it's on the way and there's already on an existing route?
Depends on how many kids are on.
Yeah,
the bus.
that's a
Yeah.
because
It's just gonna depend on
That's not just
kids
something
drive,
that.
I mean,
Well, no,
and some of them are not
too.
right off the beaten path, or you'd have to turn on the street, so it just depends on the daycare.
Right, well, that's what
Um,
I'm saying, like, if it
yeah.
was not out of the way, you know, if it was already on an existing route.
Now you got buses going down the city streets.
Well, but if they're already on there anyway, is what I'm saying, like, don't make a new route.
You don't have any full-size buses going through the city streets in towns now, do you?
Only on Main Street getting over
Yeah.
to stops.
But if buses already pass by there is what I'm saying. If they already go right by there on a route.
Yeah, I don't know where they're at. I mean, you're saying, so if there's a daycare on that main street that.
Well, if the bus already goes by her,
Mhm.
goes by there is what I'm saying.
Every bus that goes to Carbondale goes by there.
Well, yeah,
That's
'cause
the
they're,
only road
the
to go
highway.
to the school, middle school, the Santa Fe Trail Middle School in Carbondale, drives by Main Street in Topeka Boulevard.
I feel like this is a lot to make in one decision, because I feel like it's.
It is, I
And
just
it's
look
just
at
so
the
many-
doors that are gonna open to this. I wish it was so simple as to say, yes, you're a licensed center and they're homes, but it's not that simple. It's, in my opinion, it's just not that simple.
There isn't enough daycares to take care of all the kids.
Right.
And I know, yeah.
So she's doing the city a big favor.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of these parents, if they can't do this, they'll be taking their kids to Topeka and taking them there where they're gonna be bused or whatever, to schools there where they're gonna be taken care of.
Well, you wanna make a motion?
I don't think that it's the right time to change the policy that we approved for the school year. I think we need to have more conversations. I think we need to talk through whether we're gonna do something different for centers than we are home cares. I think if we make a decision now, our next 2 or 3 board meetings are gonna be 15 people added to this because they want the kids picked up or they want. And I apologize, I know it's not, it stinks, I don't know how else to put it. I just think as soon as we open the door and change policy mid-year without having deeper discussions, it's gonna be tough.
Did you get any calls when they were picking up at the old center?
When they were outside of the city limits there, no.
So that's just a line.
Right, which we have other home daycares outside city limits that we pick up at too. So it is, the line is drawn in city limits versus non-city, and that's how it's always been,
It's not
you
the
know?
center versus daycare, this
Yeah.
is like, unfortunately, we have to draw a line somewhere.
So if we
And this is where
put
we've drawn the
kids
line.
across the street,
We've
Which would
drawn,
be in the-
excuse me, ma'am, we've drawn the line, and unfortunately, you're on the inside of the line now, and we don't feel like it's the right time to change the line. Is that, like say, sorry, I know that's not what you want to hear, but
right across the street on Topeka Boulevard is outside the city limits. So if we walked them across the street, they would be outside the city limits.
If the city's annexed that, right, all the way to the bank.
we don't pick them up on the outside of the city limits that not a residence.
it's just 2.5 miles, isn't it?
No, it's it's just outside city limits, because that's the same with Overbrook.
That's
Outside
where our
of
reimbursement.
2.5 miles is, you're on 56 highway.
Yeah.
And this, if their old center is within 2.5 miles of city limits, because the shop's at city limits.
Mhm.
So you're less than a mile from city limits.
Oh, yeah.
But you're not gonna walk kids across the bridge over 75 or on 56 highway. So that was the delineation, was anybody outside of city limits, we picked up. And that's the big difference, is home care centers that are outside of city limits right now, we would pick up. So the only difference between right now where you're at in the, you know, the Casey parking lot and the old, just east of 75 was the city limits. And again, I think if we make that adjustment mid-school year, we're gonna have a lot more
The
requests.
house across the street from her center is in the city limits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've annexed the DG,
Yeah.
the shop, the
Yeah.
bank, all of that got
Yeah.
annexed.
Unfortunately, I don't have a motion to make at this time.
I feel like it's
If
something we
anybody
need
else
to
has
have
it.
more discussion on and try to figure out how much more, I mean, like.
Especially in operations, and
Right.
it is going to be honestly.
This is I think it's too big of a
One
decision
or
to-
all. I mean,
No, I
that's,
agree.
that will help us with operations and decision making about buses, so
I
if you're
just
not
feel
gonna
like
make a
that's a
motion
lot.
on it, then I would say the policy as it stands, which is city limits. If you wanna make a motion to, do something different, then yeah, we would have to look into that, and I would say we don't make that decision today if we're gonna open it up to everybody, cause
Well,
it
I
doesn't
don't
sound
think
like
you
you
could,
could
I don't
do it.
think you could make it today. I think there'd be more investigation to
I
do.
feel like that's
so.
what I would like to know is how many daycares, like what would that encompass, how many licensed daycares, so that we could.
Okay.
Make it, if we're gonna do it for one, we're gonna have to do it for all, and I feel like I need to know what all would look like.
Yeah.
And there's a special board meeting coming up here
Right.
in 2 weeks.
Mhm.
So I mean, is that something that we could feasibly get in 2 weeks or no?
I
That's a
would
lot
say,
to ask.
I don't wanna put that on our special board meeting, cause it's not on the agenda.
Yeah, we can't add
We
it.
have one
Yeah,
item.
that's right, we can't.
We already got one item on there, I would like to get us.
If you want to see some data, we could put transportation on next month's agenda and look at that.
Sure, yeah, we can
And
bring
we
the
can do that.
daycares right now
Let's
that
do
we know of.
And then we could look at it and see and make it, I guess
I mean, my
that's where I'm
preschool's
at.
got a pretty good indicator of
Right.
where all they all are,
Well,
so.
that would help me make a more informed decision about how much more it's gonna cost.
Yeah, what it would look like if we
Right, things like
picked up
that,
it all.
if we picked up all of them.
For sure.
I mean, not that they would all do it, but I feel like they open up to one.
I think a lot of them are, yeah, and you're getting kids that get right up the front door and stuff.
Well, I will say that when I moved to Carbondale 8 years ago, that I didn't take school-age children just because bus did not pick up and I had no way to get them. And they were my responsibility, you know, until they were picked up on the bus and I was not in line of sight of where the bus pickup was.
I understand exactly what you're saying, I just don't know that responsibly I can make an informed decision, you know, without looking at being fair to all of, you know, all different.
And I understand that.
Like, that's what I'd like to know before I'm ready to make a motion.
Yeah.
So we can
Yeah.
take a look, we can put it on next
Yeah.
month's agenda,
What I'll do
but
is I'll collect as much data as I can on how many daycares there are, where they're all located, and how many school-aged kids we currently have on them from preschool to whatever age they take. So we'll just get those numbers.
And I'd like to
Anything
know,
else on the
like-
data?
I'd like to know, like, would we have to make new?
I'll give that
Yeah,
Cassidy.
yeah, I know, like, that's something I would like to
Well,
know.
the preschool's already picked up, so that shouldn't be a factor in it.
so.
No, I know, but if the school age children are not, so if we,
But it'll factor on what buses we take, how many kids fit on certain buses, small buses versus large buses. So
Right.
it will, the preschool numbers will factor in, they will matter. So I wanna look at all of them just so we have accurate data on
right,
how many PK kids are on any given bus from any given daycare,
right,
midday. I mean, we've got three times for them, so.
right.
So we'll look at all the data, we'll look at student count, how many daycares, how many buses pick up those kids. And I'll try to find the best location for all of them as I can, throughout the district.
Yeah.
And then you can do the routes.
Thank you for coming.
We should have to go to
Check it.
care where to find this.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, 4.0 consent agenda. Anybody have anything, questions? Any separate?
Motion to approve the consent as presented.
All right, we have a motion,
I'll second it.
second, all in favor? 5.0, executive session personnel, how much time do you need for that?
20?
One?
Mr. President, I move we go into executive session, to discuss personnel employment pursuant to non-elected personnel exception to come on the open meeting, will resume in the boardroom at 7:15 with Tate Floyd present.
All right, we have a motion,
I'll second.
second, all in favor?
Did I have some here today?
I think you have.
No, I don't think we were here, no.
I think there's two in the back,
Okay,
two over there.
I'll watch it just to make sure we verify.
Oh, they come out after they get their name on the minute.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes. minutes. She seconded.
I second.
Thank you.
I guess. That's what gives us
still smells out here.
All right. Personnel report.
During that conversation.
What?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the personnel report as presented.
Okay, second over there, all in favor? All right. Where did we have Mr. Staab at? Does he have to wait even longer? We need to get him
he's at the
farther
very end.
down?
12, I think he was at 12.
Okay. Should we make him listen to the administrators speak?
Sure,
let's do
why
that.
not?
Let's talk to the administrators. What do we got?
Listen to us
He
for
makes
last
his
30
classes come down.
You wanna just have a go?
What's that?
Yeah,
That's,
just-
that's fine, I just wanted to.
Come on, Staab, you got
I have mostly the same as I have in the past. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we went to the 3 towns looking for, in the communal areas, mostly the parks, just to look for improvements that we can make within those areas. And then later this week, early next week, then they'll kind of pick their groups, pick their towns, and what their projects that they are wanting. Obviously, in order to carry out a project like this, some fundage is needed. Last year, I requested, I think it was 1,800. I certainly don't need any more than that this year. The 3 towns, I mean, we want to stay on top of it. We don't want to let things slip, but I'm confident that we can do that with that amount of money. I've also reached out to Reesers. I know Mr. Ellis is writing a communication with the Rotary of Overbrook, who also donated last year. So we got some buy-in within the area that can kind of defer some of the costs. So that's kind of the goal on that. Do you want to vote on that before I do the audit district stuff? Or no?
Could I make a motion to approve up to 1,800 for the government class to do their community cleanup project?
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Appreciate that.
Thanks for doing those.
Yeah, it's been fun and like now that we've done it 5-7 years, something like that, just going to each of those towns and saying, well, several years ago, this student took on this project and this student took on this project, and then they can see, we actually used some Google Earth, Google Classroom, and you could see some of the stuff from like 2011, what some of these parks looked like prior to trail students doing that. So it's been a great thing. So I do appreciate your support. The other one, I have 2 out of district or state requests. First one's Oklahoma City that we've done the last 5 years. Like to keep that one going. I am also now teaching a sports and history class, so I'm pretty excited about that. And a lot of my classes I'm able to refer because I have frequent flyers in my class. A lot of the same kids take a lot of the same electives, and so I'm able to reference that. And so I would like my sports and history class to be able to go to St. Louis. I have 2 classes of that, so it would be probably a group of 40. Same thing as Oklahoma City. It's approximately the same distance. I think it's 20 miles difference. It would be a there and back, leave before school, get back at 9 p.m. type of thing again. I think seeing the Gateway Arch is one of the most impressive things we can show within a drivable day distance. B, it was built in the 1960s. I teach Vietnam in the 1960s. I think that falls into that. And then along with the sports and history, the home run race, the whole significance of the Gateway Arch, the Mississippi River, I just think that's been on my goal list for several years, is to find a way to get kids who have never been to St. Louis to see the Arch to be able to do that. I'm not asking for tickets to go up it. I think that can be done by students who are wanting to do that, or maybe some outside funding. but they have a museum. I don't know if you've been to the Arch, but they have a museum down there that's free. Being able to touch it and everything within that downtown area, where Dred Scott decision was established is down there as well. So that is, fingers crossed, that's my goal for sports and history, is to add a St. Louis trip. And, you know, I do understand, I know money's tight, this economy is rough, and field trips are very expensive. When you're paying bus drivers and fuel and all that, but I think the positives would definitely outweigh the negatives on that. So those are my two out of state requests, I guess. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
When's the time frame that you're looking to go?
I don't know why I do this. April is my most miserable month of stress, but it'd probably be April, just because I think I need to get into the semester, build relationships, get them kind of build up the anticipation of that. And I always do. I do Oklahoma City, the month of the Oklahoma City bombing, which is April 19th. And then St. Louis would probably be either late March or early April. Same thing. Typically on Wednesday, just so I don't have conflicts with sports activities. Most sports aren't on Wednesdays, so Robbie knows it's usually a Wednesday deal. It's my field
Wednesday
trip.
don't interfere with anything, so.
These are down and back, right?
Yeah, and no, I will not do overnight.
Are
That's
those
not
classes semester classes or full year classes?
semester.
So do you offer them both?
No,
No,
just
okay.
the sports, both sports and 80s, 90s are both spring semesters. And both of them have 2 groups. So, and usually we're looking at 20 to 25 in each of the classes. So, but I usually have anywhere, generally I have, 10-15% that choose not to go. I've always said, if you don't want to go on my field trips, that's fine. I'd rather you not attend than create problems. Or they've been there. I know Mr. Bolt had been to Oklahoma City like 13 times or something like that. So, you know, there was one time he didn't go, but like, I do have a pretty good chunk, and just having a bus full makes a little more sense than like a bus of 8 or something like that. So.
We have smaller cars for that now.
Yeah, that's true.
We have transportation. I was asking Robbie if we had transportation problems.
As long as it's Wednesdays, he said.
Are you just asking for the out-of-state
Yeah.
permission,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
you were asking for money right now? Okay.
No, I mean, just the permission.
Okay.
Use the
Yeah.
buses.
Use the
Yeah.
buses.
We have a policy, you gotta get approval for out of state.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, I did know that, but I.
Do we need to do this separately, or do we do it in one? For both?
Yeah, I'll make a motion for out-of-state travel to Oklahoma City, including the bus usage.
I'll second it.
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Then I'll make a motion to approve the out-of-state trip to St. Louis and the use of transportation.
And this transportation motion,
I'll second.
second.
Yeah. Appreciate
All in
it.
favor?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Countless chickens, I think.
Yeah. All right, administrator report. Who wants to start? Mr. Ellis, you have a little extra this time, don't you?
I do.
Well, why don't you start us?
All right.
Question.
Well, I guess to kind of give you an update on things to start off with, I want to take some time to talk about homecoming. Since we've not had a board meeting since homecoming, I thought it was a great community success. I want to really thank the staff, the students, the community that came out and supported the efforts. They got involved with the parade. Parents that brought the kids out to the carnival activities prior to the football game. Everybody that came out to the football game, I was very thrilled to see everybody there. It was a great time. I thought it was a lot of fun and really brought the community together. So that is something that I would like to see us continue. I really like the tradition that's been established, and maybe we can find other ways to expand that as well, expand some opportunities for our community to come together. So very thankful and very grateful for the community support there. And with that, obviously, we are in the middle of the fall season, actually kind of hitting the tail end of it for some events and activities. But we're having what I would consider a very successful fall season. Volleyball, I believe, is 18-1 right now, and football's 5-0. Golf has been out getting some work in and getting things accomplished, and cross country has had a lot of success as well in multiple meets. So very pleased with how our students are performing athletically. We've got some other things coming up, like tonight was our church choir concert. And so that has already passed. I think we've got some things posted online from it. That's where Mr. Henry's at right now. So we're just getting in the mix of things. The musical practice is going on, so a lot of kids are involved with that as well, and pretty excited about it. Little Mermaid, if you didn't know what the theme was, should have seen her float at the parade. So it's a lot of fun. The kids have been talking about it, so pretty good to see that one. As we continue moving, football is a big thing right now. We are 5-0. Got a big game coming up on Friday, so another test for our team. I'd like to see the community come out and support and continue to support our students senior night as well. So another big moment for them. Charger of the month. So this month's Charger of the month is Gavin Smith at the high school. Great kid, great personality. The comments that we heard repeatedly were related to his demeanor and his willingness to help out others. And that's what I truly like about our culture and climate overall. We're very inclusive, we're very supportive of one another. So Gavin epitomizes that. So it's a very good choice. Very pleased that he was awarded that. I guess kind of going along those lines with Gavin being a senior as well, the seniors came forward. They requested the idea of having a senior parking fundraiser, and the seniors last year brought that to my attention as well. I said that they had to develop a proposal and find a sponsor and bring it to me, and that kind of fell through, but the senior class did not fall through with that. So you should have that proposal in front of you. So we are looking to add a fundraiser for the senior class, and the money earned would go towards the senior class for graduation gifts, graduation kind of decorations and things of that nature, because a lot of their funds last year with their student account went to prom and some of the activities last year. So that money would go to the senior class as well.
Is there a timeline on this, like when you're wanting these kids to get, I just wonder, like, it's gonna be getting cold soon, or they're
Yes,
gonna be able
before
to
we
put that, get this done?
established a time, wanted to run it by you guys as the board first and get your approval on this.
Well, if they, so say somebody buys their parking space or whatever and they paint it, obviously it's gonna wear out, maybe, I don't know. But what if they wanna do like football and then change it to wrestling and then to baseball? Will you allow them to keep changing it if it's approved every time, or is it just, this is your thing for the year?
That is actually a question that has not been brought up. The original plans are like come up with one design and make that for the year. So a lot of some of the examples that have been shown are related to all seasons. So if somebody is in multiple sports or multiple activities, they would incorporate something along those lines. That's a good question. Had not anticipated that. Was thinking, okay, one and done kind of event.
So one and done's the answer is what I'm hearing.
Well, as of now, one and done is what we were planning.
Maybe trial run for the first year,
Yeah,
make sure it goes over
maybe.
well, I don't know.
Good question, but no is the answer.
The answer is no.
Are you preemptively asking this for
I just-
next year if the following?
No, I just was
It's
asking.
just being difficult.
I just thought, I shouldn't say nothing.
Yeah.
He only wants to do it once.
It is a good question. Now, there is a second painting that we do have allotted in there for the cleanup or cover up of what they have. So the next year's seniors can piggyback on that.
And you're gonna, if we approve this, you're gonna let kids this year start.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yep.
okay.
So the idea, obviously it's a short time frame, October 17th is a teacher prep day, no student So students, the seniors can come out and utilize that day.
And you'll have a
What
space,
spaces you're wanting to use? That's one thing I don't think we talked about, what spaces.
It'll be the senior parking lot section, so the first two rows closest to the building
Okay.
are dedicated for visitors and staff. So then the next, how many ever rows
Okay.
after that would be the
and
senior.
you'll have a space, if every senior that drives wants to buy one, you have
We'll
a
get a
space.
space.
Oh, have you ever been out there? There's plenty
There
of
goes my
space.
parking.
No, I mean-
Yeah.
Clean up after
I know,
graduation,
so
is
why
that
park
a
in the
concern?
back?
Well, that's why we're adding a fee in there, so the cleanup after graduation, if they do not, then we would absorb that fee and obviously take care of it.
Okay, so it's like a security deposit.
Yes.
Okay, so they get that fee
They would
back,
get that
okay,
back,
that makes
yes.
sense, that was my concern, is how we can collect 25 if they're gone. But-
Don't get
Yeah.
rid of Thomas.
No, I got you.
We're probably just gonna keep the fee and go take care of it.
I love it.
I agree 100%, that's fine, yeah.
Most schools said that they had to implement that because they wouldn't.
Makes sense.
Yeah, if
Right.
you graduated and you come back to paint over, it's
And they have to
Probably
pay
not.
before they go out.
Correct,
Okay.
yes, yep.
So is there, like if they paint their spot, is that their spot? to
Yeah.
Park in, like does it reserve their spot or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was something that I did tell them, I am not going to be the parking lot monitor. So yes, unofficially, it reserves their spot for them. I do liken it to seats at church, and it's already kind of established where students already know their
Yes.
parking spot. They
Right.
let each other
It's
know
gonna cause some
if
conflict, I
they
can
parked
see
in
it
their
now.
spot.
It's not.
You parked in my spot.
Exactly.
I don't think the last one's the schools with the closest spots though, right?
Typically, no, yeah,
That's not how that
they
works.
better pick a spot according to the time that they plan on
I
showing
don't
up to
think
school,
people
yeah.
can expect the owners to block their mother.
Alright,
So,
I'll make a motion that we approve the student parking spot painting contracts for the 25-26 school year.
Sounds good. I'll second it. Go ahead.
motion.
If you want some cool examples, you can go to Baldwin High's.
I've
Sorry.
seen
They're
it.
pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
I've seen
They're
them.
pretty
Their student I talked to, I asked about like, is there any unforeseen issues I might wanna consider? And he's like, not that I can think of, you just might wanna consider, you know, what you allow, what you don't allow, those types of things, but also some freedom in that too, so. He said, I haven't had any major issues yet, so that's good.
If it gets abused, we won't be able to do it.
Yeah,
So-
so,
Okay, we have a motion
Is
and a
that
second.
the design has to be approved beforehand,
Mhm.
and they can't veer away from that
Yes.
design.
Yeah, I like that.
All in favor? All right. Thanks.
Okay. I'll go next. I'll start with our charger of the month. Our charger of the month was Amanda Diggins. She had multiple nominations. She's been with us for quite some time. She's been very easy to go. We had to do that change in grade levels, and she did that for us. So she went. She's kind of bounced back between second and first, and so we moved her back down to first grade, and then she actually came and thanked me and was like, I forgot how much fun it was to teach the first graders. But she just is always, she is such a high quality teacher. When you go in there, it's always a calm room. Her students are always on task. She's always using NPS engagement, high impact instructional strategies, clarity of instruction. It's just great. It's great every year. And so I think people just have seen that and recognize too that, you know, she's a team player. She would share anything with you. I actually happened to be walking past a room and she knew another teacher was kind of like, well, it was a big week for them, and she walked in and was like, here, I prepped all of your writing materials for you, and just gave them to her. So just that's the type of person she is. So that was great for her. She was very excited to be nominated.
I would call her one of your building leaders,
Yeah.
teacher leaders, she's good.
So her kids were excited. We got to celebrate with her students and take a picture. She said right before we came in, one of her kiddos screamed because they were so excited. Nice. So yeah, it was great. I loved how excited the kids get. We are just moving and grooving. I mean, our end of the quarter is coming up. We have just some things for us. We have picture day coming up, and then our big rewards for we have those quarterly reward parties. If we have 30 or less office referrals, and we schedule Body Venture to come to our building on the 21st. The high school is helping us. The football boys are gonna come help us set up the day before. And then Jessica Nicholson and I are working, and they're gonna have some volunteers come over to help run it. So Body Venture is this huge thing you set up in the gym, and it's essentially traveling through the inside of your body. You learn about your digestive system and your heart and all. It's kind of like Magic School Bus, but in real life. And then we have people doing that, and you learn about your brain and just all of the cool things. So the kids are really excited about that, and I have to shout out to my specials team because they've been doing a lot of planning of that for us. So that's great. And then just parent-teacher conferences are up and coming, and so our teachers have been pushing a lot of that information out. And then, we always love Spirit Week. So we're gonna have another one at the end of October, and we're gonna do Healthy Choices Week that we always push out, and we kind of do that instead of like Red Ribbon Week because our kids, that's a little bit harder for our kids to understand. So we focus on this with the support of Mrs. Metzger, our counselor, and just do some lessons about healthy choices, and then get to wear a PJs. It's always nice. So, okay, all right, that's all.
Okay, well, Carbondale's off and running as well. Things are going well. The clubs are really getting up and running. Stuco got set this past month and our meeting. KAY Club is doing some fundraisers. They're doing the Fields of Flag fundraiser for disabled veterans. So you probably saw some stuff come out about donating for that. Our intervention time is going well. We've even had some positive office referrals for kids that have greatly increased their words per minute and stuff. So it's good to see the teachers recognizing those kids for working hard in that time. I walked in the other day, they were reading a book in class. The teacher was reading to them, and kids were all following along on the book and just having a great time. So I think that intervention time is hopefully going to show some really good results as the year progresses. Really focused on attendance. In the newsletter, I kind of started my part with just an attendance focus. So this year we're trying to send out, when kids hit 5 absences, they're going to get a letter, 8 absences, a letter, and then 8 absences, a phone call or a conference with us about attendance, and then at 10 absences, another letter and call. So hopefully we can lower our chronic attendance rate is kind of a big focus for me anyway in the office. School-wide fundraiser kicks off next Friday. It was set up for me, so it's Red Wheel fundraising again, and so they've had some success in the past with that. So hopefully it'll be a good fundraiser. I think Austin's going to wear a wig or something. He said something about assistant principals doing this. I don't remember that. That's true. We got the wigs from homecoming.
I don't know if you saw them at homecoming.
That was a stretch. Our Halloween parade, I think the past few years they've done it in the gym, but we're going to go back out in the community this year, kind of go up Main Street, Carbondale. We've talked to the local police chief there. She's going to help us with making sure the kids are safe and get stuff out to businesses. And so that'll be kind of fun for our 4th and 5th graders. And then really right now, I'm just planning for the Veterans Day Assembly in November. We have our speakers set up, and FFA reached out and wanted to know if they could do a breakfast for our veterans. So partnering with them, they're going to do a breakfast before the assembly. We invite our veterans to come in early, have breakfast with us, with the FFA kids bringing the food and serving it, and then we'll go to the assembly and do the Veterans Day Assembly.
Love it. Awesome.
Should be a nice addition to that. Our Chargers of the Month, our student Charger of the Month this month was Reagan Sunday. She's a 6th grader. I got to meet Reagan when she got a positive office referral just for being a kind person that sits with one of our special needs kids that was really struggling in class, and talked about how patient she is in helping them. And she had a couple other similar type comments in her nomination of just being a kind and helpful person. She's the kind of kid that you don't always see because she's very quiet and very solemn, but she's a great kid. So it was good to recognize her. I think she was a little overwhelmed.
Oh yeah, I embarrassed her.
Yeah.
I'm overwhelming, so I try to go in and not read their face and try not to be a little overwhelming, but it's hard. I can't. Poor thing. She took good pictures though. She was happy. I think she was very happy. So.
And then we have Lisa Obregon this month recognized as a Charger of the Month, and Lisa, she's just Lisa's such a positive influence in that building. She's a fantastic teacher, engaging, energetic. I don't know where she gets her energy to keep going all day long, But I always tell people when I need to be uplifted a little bit, I go hang out with Lisa, because that's always gonna be a positive experience. So it's just a great choice for our charger department. So, and before I let Austin talk about activities, I do have one question for the board. So my wife, several years ago, had a dog, a school therapy dog from CARES, same place that your CAMs came from. She could only take that dog to her school 3 days a week. And that's a long story, but, so the other 2 days, she allowed me to take that dog with me to school when I was in Perry. So that dog passed away in 2019, and so Beth had decided at that time to not move forward with another dog, but then she did move forward finally, and we have another dog coming to the house. She's gonna come back. My wife's up there now going through the training with that dog. This dog will be from KSDS, which is Kansas Dog Service. They've been around since 1990 out of Washington, Kansas. They do all sorts of service dogs, and then they also do facility dogs for schools. So I've been bugging her. I said, when we had the dog the last time, you let me take the dog a couple days a week. I'm not gonna get a couple days a week. But she has agreed that if it's okay with with you guys and the board, or I guess basically I'm asking what you would expect if I can bring that dog on days she doesn't take the dog to her school.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah,
I love it.
Is it a black lab named Candy?
No,
It's a yellow lab named Lorraine.
Oh, yes.
There's a Back to the Future theme on that litter evidently.
Oh, Lorraine, I love it.
Oh,
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I love it.
It's awesome. It's the only building we don't have one except for here, but we get to see other cams a lot. They bring the other cam over here a lot to hang out with preschoolers, so.
Yeah.
And I'll keep working on her to make it a more regular thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I love
Great.
Lorraine.
Okay.
Do we need a vote on that, or just?
I'll just say yes.
I think we already have a policy on it.
Yeah, I think it's fine for
Rest-
I think the policy was that she was trained and went through all that.
Yeah.
The more the merrier.
Yeah. Yes, for sure.
I know I could use the therapy dog. So. A lot of kids wanting to be involved right now. Mike kind of touched on KAY. I was in there today. They had a meeting. We had, it's just for 7th and 8th graders. We had 43 kids in there that have all turned in forms and fees. And, I'm sure a lot of them just want to be in there because their friend is. But I mean, it's a good way to get involved and be a leader amongst the student bodies. So FBLA is getting started. They had 23 kids also turn in forms and fees, and there's 3 or 4 more coming, so we're gonna be close to about 30 kids in junior high FBLA. Volleyball wrapped up over the weekend. 7th grade finished 4th place at the league tournament. 8th grade won league this year. They beat Wellsville, but they lost to 2 days before at Wellsville. Were able to beat them on Saturday in 3 sets, so that was cool to see. We actually started girls basketball already this week. This was day 3 of practice. Hard to believe we're hosting girls basketball games here in a week from Monday. So we're off and rolling. Things are going well activities wise. So.
Okay, preschool, I'll be quick. We have, let's do charges of the month first, is actually our preschool through 3rd grade charger was a preschooler. Charlotte Rice was our charger of the month. She was very excited. I don't think she knew what I was doing, but it came in. Julie told her all the things and explained it to her. We took some pictures and she was very excited. And then I told her she was going to get a little money to spend on herself. So when Dwayne showed up, and Sean Norwood is our classified charger of the month. He is in the technology department, and I thought I'd let Andy talk a little bit about Sean.
Sean, of course, you guys hired him middle of last year, and when we hired him, we kind of gave him a challenge of customer service. That was kind of his role, and man, he took that to heart. He gets into classrooms, he's establishing those relationships with the teachers. He goes and fixes their problem, but not only that, he circles back with them, making sure that everything is going. And he's doing a lot of that on his own, like he's very good at his job, and I think this was a major pat on his back because he's so new and he's doing a great job. So very proud of him.
He beats me to work sometimes, and I get there early.
Everything's great in the preschool. We had our first family night and had Kona ice and bubbles and literacy stuff and face painting and just kind of a night for the preschool to get together. And it's nice, not all our families know each other in the preschool, so it helps develop some early friendships and family friendships amongst our early chargers, and I think that's super fun. They just play and hang out, have snacks and Kona, and so that it's nice. And then we're gonna do another family night. We'll do our music concert again. I think that's what we're going for, because that was such a hit. This place there were 400 people in this Scranton gym. We didn't have enough room. So I think we're gonna do our second music concert ever for preschool. It was super fun, and so I don't know, I loved it. I hope that's a hit again and it won't rain that night. Action plans are on the table, set some goals. We changed a couple of them in there, but otherwise they're pretty similar. We're still working on aligning our literacy and math goals along with kindergarten readiness, and then some SEL goals about parent education and preschool readiness. Preschool readiness is something we're needing more of. It's amazing, some skill sets that we used to come to preschool with that we're not anymore. So we're really working on parent education, on making sure kids are getting some experiences at home early on before they come to preschool. And don't get me wrong, preschool is the place to start learning a lot of things, but there's some things that we're lacking that are new, even like toilet training, things like that. So there's some things that we know that we want to support parents with and make sure that they know at home there's little things we can do that help our littles. So, and then district level, I just wanted to talk to you guys. Thank you so much for getting your board assessment tool completed. I have all 7 of them. We reviewed them in AdCap on Tuesday, talked a lot, kind of tried to calibrate some things, and then I'm gonna have them take it. I'll bring it back. I'm actually gonna share your data with you in this week's notes, so you'll get to see your data, what you guys filled out, what you think about each one of our goals. And then we will do some calibration. I'd like to make a board topic in November to talk about the goals and whatnot, and then we'll move forward with addressing each goal the rest of the school year. That's what I've done. Carrie.
Hello, Carrie.
And is this Amy when I'm gonna do the thing? I know. Okay, so we're gonna review data real quick. We're just gonna kind of do the general overview. In your board books, there's a lot more detailed things. I just didn't want us to go through all of that here. So we'll let Amy pull up our little presentation. That's okay.
We're waiting on it.
There we go.
Sorry. Jamie can see it, it's like right there, what do you mean?
Over here once and
Okay, here we go.
Okay, so we're gonna start with FastBridge data, and please remember that this is basically a benchmark for our school year. So the fall it's useful data to see how much we retain over the summer, but we're really looking for the growth in December and then at the end of the year. So we're just gonna kind of go through this real quick. Preschool's looking great. And then here's kindergarten, and I did the longitudinal, just so we can kind of see through the years our growth that we've made. As she's going through this, a reminder that FastBridge is based on skills, and it is measuring how quickly and accurate we are at those skills, such as our letter names and how fast we read and all of those, our comprehension, things like that. Think of it as when you go to the doctor and you get a blood pressure check, it's just gonna see, are you okay, or is it a little higher, a little low? And if it's a little higher, a little low, then we're gonna do some more testing to see, do we need to do some more interventions? Do you need a little of this or a little of that? So that's what this is for our assessment.
Sorry, I didn't interrupt you. And there's a different kind of assessment when they get into, is it first
Second
grade?
grade.
Second grade.
So
Okay.
it's K, preschool K and 1 do the early reading, which is a lot of letter sounds, nonsense words, things like that. Then once they get to second grade, then they do the more true reading, like read a paragraph and answer some comprehension, things like that.
Okay.
And then this, and the same with math too, I should have said
Yeah,
that too.
yeah.
So early math is K1 too as well. As we go through, feel free to ask some
questions, if you have any. We're definitely seeing the upward trend that we want though. Working towards that magic 80-20 or 15-20, 25. And these also are our baselines for creating our NTSS groups. So this is kind of where we start looking at who needs intervention, what intervention they might need, because we can really dig down in these fast bridge assessments to see, is it a fluency issue, is it a comprehension issue, is it a phonics issue, where are we at exactly for that student. Now, ninth graders, after they pass the benchmark in fast bridge, then they do not have to take the reading fast bridge anymore according to state law. So once we get to 10th grade, which you'll see next, you're gonna see the numbers jump up. Because I know every year Kylie's like, what's happening?
But I knew this year.
Yeah. So you're gonna see those numbers jump, and it's just simply because these are the students that have not passed the benchmark. But I still see growth when we do these, and so that's a good thing. We're always just looking for that growth. Okay, Kansas State assessments. Did we have any questions about fast bridge? Are we good there? I feel like we know a lot about that one. All right, Kansas State assessments, new this year. Spring 2005, we administered a revised enhanced summative assessments for ELA and math grades 3 through 8 and 10, science grades 5, 8, and 11. The State Board of Education approved new cut scores in September of 2025. And the cut scores are benchmarks, basically. And the reason they did this, there's several reasons. One, we had a misalignment. So the Kansas assessment standards were outliers were compared to ACT, AP classes, post-secondary success. So basically we had these kids who were scoring well on ACT and who were going to college and being successful. And we had kids that were doing all these great things, but were scoring 1s and 2s on the state assessment. And that just didn't match up well. So they finally listened to years of educators saying this is not matching up and have, tried to address that issue. They also defined the levels better, and so we really can understand better what a level 1, a level 2, and a level 3 and 4 is. So a level 1, students need intensive interventions and significant classroom support. Level 2, students demonstrate basic skills but need targeted interventions, and then 3 and 4 are proficient or advanced. Please remember that the state assessment is completely different than fast bridge. It's apples and oranges. State assessment, only grade level, where fast bridge will go up and down and move with the student. So state assessments are only grade level on those state standards in that grade level, and it measures the rigor or the depth of knowledge on that standard. So do you know the basic of the standard? Do you know a little bit more, or how in depth do you know that standard is what it is measuring? Okay. Yes, that's good. So again, here are the performance levels, so you can see the difference. So we want students to be in level 3 and 4 are our target areas of where we want students to be. Update on 11th grade science assessment. The 2025 grade 11 science test did not work as intended. Results didn't provide the full range of scores needed to set official cut scores. So no performance levels can be reported. We will not get scores for the 11th grade science. So they are looking at changing the assessment a little bit and doing different things. When I was at the state curriculum meeting, they talked a little bit about how every high school does science a little bit different, and they're having trouble really narrowing down what should 11th graders in science know, basically. They've also kind of changed a little bit of the science standards since 2017, and so are all of the schools up to date on that? So there's just a lot of questions that they have, and they didn't feel like it was a valid assessment. So instead of sending out something that they felt was invalid, they chose not to send out a result for that. So we do not have anything for 11th grade science. So this is kind of what I just explained. They will be given a new revised version in the spring of 2026,
And then they hope to then make cut scores based on that assessment. And then we'll get them in the fall again, that'll be next year. I thought this was great. They gave this to us at the State Board of Education. This shows the depth of knowledge, and it shows a level 1, a level 2, a level 3, a level 4. And so this says, what is the value of the expression shown? There it is, and then your answer choices. And based on the question, do you think that that is a level 1 question, a level 2 question, a level 3, or a level 4 question? This is 5th grade, by the way. I know, right?
Are you smarter than a 5th grader?
Do you know order of operations? You guys remember the PEMDAS? Can you do it? Can you do it? Can you do it?
Okay, so Amy, go ahead and
My
do it.
answer is not even on
The next one.
Parentheses,
So it's a level 2.
exponents.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So this is actually
I was saying
basic.
3.
It is not proficient, which I thought was, isn't that interesting, right? Like I always wonder, what is on these tests and what is depth of knowledge? So KSDE has come out with this really great resource, and this is that resource where it tells you, this is the state standard, level 1, this is what we expect you to do as a level 1 student, level 2, level 3, level 4. And so and it's brand new, so we can finally share that with the teachers. Like, I always talk about rigor, and I always talk about giving them depth of knowledge, and the teachers look at me like, okay, great, what does that mean? And I'm like, well, you go deeper. Okay, great, what does that mean? So this really lays it out for them. Like, this is the standard, and we want you to get, when you're teaching, to that level 3 and that level 4, and this is what level 3 and level 4 looks like. We needed this tool so badly. So I'm very excited. This is brand new. We're just getting it into teachers' hands, and so this will be very helpful. It'll be great.
This helps us unpack the standards
Yes.
and all
Yeah.
teachers on the same page about unpacking them. So what Kylie interprets and what Michelle interprets about a standard are more now
And
in
if
line.
you've looked at the standards, they're page and pages, page and pages. So you're just kind of guessing, like, I think this standard's important, but my neighbor says, well, I think this standard's important. So how do we know what's important, what's a major standard? They're also kind of working towards that. In math right now, they have major standards and then supporting standards, which really helps you narrow down, like, what is it that's going to be tested and focused on? What do they really know in depth? What do I need to focus on? So that's also very helpful. The state has done a lot of work. Here's another one. What do we think this is going to be? Which level?
3.
Let's check it. Yay! See? But isn't that helpful? I think that is just a great tool. So I'm very excited about that tool and getting our teachers to be able to dig into that. So we are starting that work soon. Like next week we start working on that stuff. So, okay, what's next, Amy? Here is ELA. This shows the district and then the state. And our goal is always to be at the state average or above. So we can see we had a really strong push in 6, 7, 8, really strong. So we're kind of working on those other grade levels of what we need to do to get that pushed up. So I'm hoping all of this standards work that we'll be getting will be helpful. Kind of shows you where we were. Percentage of level 1s, level 2s, level 3s, level 4s. The district compared to the state.
There should be some glaring ones in here. So you can ask some questions about that if you'd like. But I think I kind of wrote about this last week, about some targeted focus, and we talk about rigor. But we also talk about expectations, accountability, training and support as well. I think those all go hand in hand.
Well, we've been working on this, talking about this for a long time and providing a lot of the materials that have been asked for. Is how long before we start seeing
The
really
research
good
says it
results
takes
here?
3 to 5 years, but I think the missing piece was truly that standards alignment. You can't do that standards alignment until you really get into the data or the curriculum and understand what it is. So now we can work on that standards alignment piece. And the state has done a wonderful job in giving us some new things to help us with that standards alignment. So I'm actually really excited about, this is our baseline because it's all new, like new cut scores, new state assessments. This is our baseline. We see where we are. Now we can go forward and move
getting better every time.
Yep.
Is what we want, yeah.
Yes. This is math. We have quite a glaring difference in math. The admin, actually Laura Lee and I were just talking about this, we were like, we wonder, because we've been so reading heavy and so reading focused, we're like, our math used to be really strong and now we see our math is starting to drop a little, like, okay, so now we're gonna have to pick back up on the math, go from there. This felt a little more equalized to me too. It didn't have quite the off balance that the ELA did. And then here is science.
I think the more culture we have surrounding high expectations, what we want for our kids, expectations of our kids, culture around this test, I think that's a big piece of it. I've talked to administrators about this a little bit, and Carrie, our culture around these tests has got to be better. It's got to be better from administration to teachers to students. We understand the test, why it's important, that we always want to do our best no matter what we're doing, whether they find this test valuable or not. Talk about high stakes tests that you may have to take later in life on anything you may do. Even your driving test could be a high stakes test, things like that that have an outcome that you want. So I think there's culture around this too, that I really have high expectations of these people in this room here, that message has got to be strong. I know Kyle sat with his staff, showed this, then showed our league, showed people surrounding schools in our county. What does that look like to Santa Fe Trail? Where do you want to be in that ranking or in that? And not to make it about us versus them, but about we are capable. Our students are better than some of those scores I saw up there. I think some of this is probably apathy, and as the older we get with some of our kids, I expect that apathy to not be there just because we're getting older and I don't maybe care about a test or whatever that may be. Everybody's got to make this important for it to be important, otherwise it won't be. So I have very high expectations of this to change and to get better and improve, and we've got all the resources, the teachers, the programs, everything in place, and so I expect these to go up. I'm not saying we have to be the highest in the state or anything like that, but I know that we are very capable and our kids are very capable.
Average would be good.
So, above.
So, also as a part of this is with our piece of school improvement, that's gonna start coming to play as a rule of compliance in that. Now, this coming school year, it does not, but the next school year, it will be part of that, so. That's something that also is looming here.
I'm sorry, what did you say the next school year is what?
It is not part of it, but the following year, it will start.
Requirement to be accredited and a compliance component of KISA. We don't know what those scores are, what that means yet. We don't know if that's, you have to have this many kids in these levels, or you have to have whatever. We don't know what that is yet, but it will be, and I've never had that in my time in curriculum or administration. So that will be new. Stakes are high.
Okay, so this is our longitudinal data. I really like this because you can see the cohorts and how they're going, but you can also see overall how we did. So longitudinal data for ELA in levels 3 and 4, we actually did have a nice bump, a 12% increase of students overall in 3 and 4. And so we are seeing that growth, which is a positive. So. And then here is students scoring in level 1, so we want this number to be smaller. So we also see a decrease here, which is what we want as well.
48 to 26. 7th to 8th this year.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, glass half full.
There you go.
Look at that.
And then this is our math data, a nice increase as well here. And then for levels 1, a good decrease.